I'm using the wrong camera. Uh-oh. It's all good. Just gotta do it differently now.
Are you using that camera?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I did the wrong camera.
Sure.
I'm sure. I actually don't care. It's not like Stephen Colbert did his thing in his bathtub. So I would have liked that other camera. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. Let's see.
Well, hi. Does that mean somebody's watching?
I think that's just us.
Oh.
That's why I'm not really funny. Such a jig. All right. Let's see here. I should probably have this on so I could make sure that we're coming through. Check 1, 2. Hey.
That's good for Instagram.
Oh, I'm off for one and on.
Yeah.
All for off for one. Nick off for one. That's the movie right here. And then yeah. Uh-oh. The crackling.
All right.
Okay. All right. Wait, where's my phone?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm using it to record. My notes. I gotta pull my notes up here. Don't look at my notes.
Okay. Don't cheat.
Don't cheat.
The headphones are so gigantic.
You don't have to wear them.
But it makes it I don't know, like the sound is better. But
I think I'm recording.
Woo.
I'm a podcasting man. Let me turn this up a little bit. Wait, where are you?
Me?
Nope, that's Buzzy.
Well, am I touching the wrong?
No, it might be. I don't know. Never done a stream and recording at the same time. Well, hello, people that I don't know if they're there. I doubt they're there.
Probably not.
But it's okay. It's the first time we're doing this. This is really for personal growth, more than anything. And that's what I told myself before doing this, so I wouldn't be sad if nobody showed up.
Oh, okay. Set your expectations.
That's most of my life. It's just going, oh, this is for personal growth. This isn't really for anybody else. And then inside, like, what was that? The Pixar movie? Inside Out? Those little versions of me are like, no, nobody did.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. A small tear.
Just one.
They're all internal tears.
Yeah. Just one internal tear.
Yeah. Or who knows, like in 30 minutes, it might be like the people, like, nobody came to help us move. And then the whole town comes out.
Oh, maybe. Should we just sit here looking sad?
Until, yeah. And then we go, I'm going to throw in the towel. And then a little kid comes in the room somehow, even though we're all not supposed to be, we're supposed to be doing social distancing. And it's like, Dad, look. And I'm like, what? And then all the people are coming. Yeah. I think in this point in time, it would be bad if a bunch of people were walking up to you. That's really not the look that you want.
We should have said, hey, we're live now.
We can still do that.
I mean, I don't know if that helps, but.
It probably doesn't, but we could do it. We should put this all in the official podcast. Oh, we are.
Right.
You don't have the link, do you?
I don't have the link.
All right, I'll post, and then
I'll share.
you share my post.
Yep.
Or Sunny, my post.
My
Oh,
phone's
I
over
need to
there,
stop
so I
looking at
can't.
my notifications.
Instagram.
What is the URL? It's right here. Share.
Why did it show you your one self up there?
Just to know that you're in there. It's kind of like looking at her and knowing that you're alive. It's like, all right, well, here I am. So that's good. Is that too loud? Is that too loud?
That's too loud outside.
Those people outside, yeah. Hopefully whatever's going on there is cool. Oh, these things. All right, let me turn this up a little bit. It's going to be a little bit noisy probably. I just want to make sure people can hear for the 3 people that aren't here yet.
I don't know if Instagram can hear.
Oh, sorry. I don't see any questions, so somebody might be there. But
yeah, how do you know if somebody's
it'll say
watching
like
on
1 or 2 or something.
Oh.
Or something, I don't know.
Literally never used Instagram Live.
I haven't either.
Or stories.
This is for personal growth.
Okay. We're growing.
We are live. We are live.
There you go.
Casting.
Yeah, casting.
Right.
Now. Say now.
And then they're like, oh, when was that? Like
right.
Most of my life. I heard you have a show in a week. That was a month ago. That was a month ago. All right. News feed, story, post it to everything. Tell everybody.
Oh, you can click your story.
I don't know much about
I don't
this.
know nothing.
So as we proceed to give you what you need,
come on. I'm gonna take this down.
One thing I do like about the internet kind of is it's very informal. So if you were to do this, I guess they do this on the radio. They're just like jibber jabbering before they do anything.
Sure.
All right, a little bit more. And then we'll start.
Okay. Oh, now you're just tagging people.
I'm just gonna tag 2 people. My mom and my brother and Ben Merritt.
And Ben Merritt.
Those are people that support a little bit. Oh, let me switch it over.
I don't know if anybody's over there on Instagram, but
hey. Instagram maybe. All right, I don't want to look at myself. Let me just have this to the side so I can know that the stream didn't die.
Just make it little.
Let's do this. Boom.
But if people comment, we won't see, right?
Oh yeah. Okay. All right. You got me. You got it. A story.
There you go. Split it.
Splitsville. All right. There we go. There's my notes. Wait. That looks crazy. That's small. Are you ready?
Sure.
Let's get this cracking.
Okay.
Crack-a-lackin'. Hey.
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 What?
Hey. What you saying?
I think we always sing the intro.
Almost. I listened to one of the other ones and we did not sing that one.
Oh, we didn't? We just said it?
Frame. No, yeah, we just said like, hey. I said, hey, but we didn't sing it. But Hiko was saying that he thought it was funny that I sung. And I said it was just something that happened once and now it's a thing. It's kind of like Eddie Murphy's laugh or Conan O'Brien's pants dance or something like that.
You know what we don't do, but I want to do this. We need to start doing this. Yeah, we probably should really. But, well, no. No.
Actually, we should start investing
know.
at some point. Because
maybe.
That'll be...
you think penny stocks are like 0.00 pennies now?
1,000 stocks.
Right.
Yeah.
You can get 1,000 penny stocks for $1.
There you go.
Okay. No,
It's like you tricked
Hi.
yourself. No.
This is Michelle.
Oh.
And that's Josh.
This is Josh.
Guess what? Or hey.
Hey.
Hey. We just saw a movie.
We just saw a movie. I thought we already said hey. We just saw a movie.
No, we just said hey. And then we sang about it for a minute.
True facts.
Yeah.
Car facts.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're
So that's us. We just saw a movie.
We just saw a movie. We are currently inside our apartment. Which, to think about it, I'm so happy that we moved, because it would be very interesting to be in our old apartment, being like semi-quarantined in 500, 600
It was very
feet.
small. But I thought about this the other day, actually, because our old apartment, we had a courtyard apartment. I guess that's what they're called. Or it's open to the sky in the middle.
We didn't live at the courtyard. The courtyard, like hotel or motel.
No, right. Yeah. We were not in an extended stay hotel situation.
Yeah.
No, our apartment had a courtyard, and then it was open in the middle. And so anyway, it made me think about, if we were in that apartment, we could have tried to see if the building wanted to sing together, like in Italy.
Oh yeah, that nobody would have done that.
But no, yes.
What?
The guy two doors down, if he still lived there, which I know.
3 doors down?
2 doors down.
2 doors down.
That guy used to sing all the time, and there was an opera singer in the building, because we would hear her warming up.
Oh
every morning.
That one lady brought her piano to the 3rd floor somehow.
Or I would hear her warming up every morning. You were asleep.
Oh, so you're gonna call me out for sleeping? Can a man enjoy his sleep?
Yes, you can.
His sleepability.
Sure.
So yeah, let's chat up a little bit about the microscopic elephants in the room. Well, hopefully not in the room.
No, not in the room.
Bad. You
don't
can't
have any in the room.
You can't really get away from it. I know people probably want to have a solace. Is that the word? Quantum solace. Solace. Isn't that like a respite? Other fancy words, like somewhere to get away from.
You mean a respite from the coronavirus?
Yeah. But I'm not going to do that, because
no, let's have a corona-free.
I love Corona with the lime.
All right.
Say something.
Okay.
Just I'm not gonna go full.
Do you think?
What's it called? The people that hippie on it. I'm not gonna.
Hippie.
The government, man. Like I'm not gonna go that deep into it. In my mind, I'm like the government, man. But yeah, it's just been it's been an interesting week. It's been kind of a week, because
it's only Wednesday.
I know, but I'm saying like Monday. I'm saying like 7 days.
Oh, okay.
Like so the ring type situation. Like Monday, Tuesday, it was like, oh, well, that's crazy. And then I was talking with a friend of mine, Steve Hallis, and was like, hey, let's get together next week, and you can tell me how like your guitar class has been going, and maybe we can jam.
Did we? No.
And then it was just kind of like, that's not happening. Nothing's happening. We just, And then the Hanks and the NBA shit. Well, when the NBA shut down, I was like, oh, I need to get food. And that's when I started like actively every night going to get food like a raccoon. And so then Monday we got most of the food that we think we need for a while, and we've just gone on walks. And a friend of ours, Paul Date, has been doing online
digital
hangouts. Yeah, we've been playing Quiplash and whatnot. So it's been not that bad. I've been a little creative, so that's
ooh, somebody's watching.
Who that is?
I don't know.
On which one?
Tell us who you are. You
too? Who you be. Don't be afraid.
Okay, sorry for anybody listening to this later when we post it online.
Yeah, or however.
We are doing a live
we've never done this.
YouTube stream, Instagram, so we're
hoping.
Maybe gonna say hi to some people if they pop online.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because in the actual podcast, people, why are they saying hi? What's going on? And what are they talking about?
We're not talking to you directly.
We don't want to talk to you directly.
We're talking to people watching.
We're talking to live people. Not that you're dead. You're alive, I think.
We hope.
Reanimated, maybe. So, now, what did we just see?
Ooh, we watched the 2017? 16.
You're wrong already.
Flick. But I think it was released in 2017.
Released? Relaced with cocaine?
Okay, we watched Captain
Planet. My bad.
Fantastic.
Captain Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
He's a hero. Gonna take
The planet
working.
down to
No, gonna taking his kids down to 0. Yeah, Captain Fantastic. I don't know if anybody's watched that, but
I don't know because it didn't make a whole ton of money.
Yeah, probably not.
But globally, I think it made 21 million.
Oh, it's more money than I've made.
Yeah, but I would gather a lot of people didn't see this movie.
No, yeah, I remember it being. I remember seeing the previews. I thought, oh, that's cool. Some guy trying to fight the man or whatever.
I don't. Literally the whole time. Well, not the whole time, but I thought we were watching a different movie.
What movie did you think?
I thought this was the movie. There's some movie where the family was kind of hippy dippy, and then like one daughter rebelled and wanted to go off, and then was coming back, but then was gone. And I really thought that was the movie we were watching.
What was that movie?
So I kept kind of waiting for one of the daughters to
be like,
to rebel. But overall, it was just a lovely family. Nobody. I mean, they had issues, obviously, but no one ran off to go get a corporate job. Spoiler alert.
That we know.
It's the old movie, so.
Yeah, this whole thing's gonna be a spoiler alert. If this is the first time you've heard anything.
Yeah.
Everything is a spoiler.
Our whole podcast is spoiler alert.
It's just spoils. Spoils of every Babylon.
Yeah.
So. All
right. So we saw Captain. Now you almost have me saying Planet. Captain Fantastic.
I saw one of your pages. You're going to talk about something.
No, I had to Google. Okay, can I read the synopsis?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what we do now.
So it's you cameras. Okay.
Are you really doing first we feast? This camera.
Tell the people what the movie's about.
Yeah, tell the one person what the movie's about.
Okay. So it is in the forests of the Pacific Northwest. Ooh. A father devoted to raising his 6 kids with a rigorous physical and intellectual education is forced to leave his paradise and enter the world, challenging his idea of what it means to be a parent.
Wow.
That's a good one, IMDb. Usually when I read these descriptions, they're really crappy. But that's a good one.
Yeah.
It was better than one of the other ones I looked up.
Isn't everything a challenge in being a parent?
We don't have kids, but I would imagine. That's
why we don't have kids.
True.
Because it's like, oh, go into the bathroom. Challenge. Oh, trying to do a live video podcast. Challenge. Can't do that with kids running around. Trip over all these cables I got running around here.
Not if they were these kids. These were trained kids.
That's true. They were trained kids. So the movie, the dad, he's well, so what had happened was it was a dad and a mom, and then the mom goes away for what I thought was cancer. They said she was sick. So in every movie,
it's usually cancer.
It's cancer, and it's a woman too. So it's like she has cancer for some reason. That's what movies like to do. So she goes away, and there's just a dad and the kids. And what were you gonna say?
Well, I was gonna say we never saw the mom. Like at the beginning, we didn't even know there was a mom in the picture.
Oh, that's true. I kind of knew there was a mom from the preview, so but you didn't even really know there was a mom. So it's a dad and 6 kids.
Yes, 6. It took also the whole movie. I couldn't figure out how many kids there actually were.
Yeah, they were everywhere,
running around.
I say smashy. It's a lot of kids. So they had 6 kids, and this guy is raising these kids, and they seem to be, well-adjusted, cool, the kids that live in the woods. And that's where they live. They're all living in the woods, and you see like what kind of people they are right away. They're like hunting. Oh no, that was the first scene.
Man, okay, that I didn't. Oh, this movie just jumped in so hard. My eyeballs were just so I couldn't. So the whole first thing that happens is this kid is hunting, and then
I think the
oldest kid is hunting a deer. It was a real deer, and I pointed that out because usually now movies have like CGI animals walking around for some reason. This was a real deer, and then we're watching the deer walk around, and then the kid jumps out of the bushes with a knife and stabs the deer.
Yeah.
Like he didn't even shoot. He didn't have to. you shoot things from far away. You don't have to jump on them and stab them and then slit their throat. Like,
but he's trying not to be a softie.
Super dramatic.
He wants to have direct personal connection. Like when the cops come and they say this was personal, he stabbed them up close.
It was a lot. That was like a lot for an opening.
I definitely would.
I thought this was like a tame, like hippie nature family.
How else do you live in nature?
I did. Like I said, I didn't know what movie I was watching.
You thought they were like, hey man, let's go to Whole Foods. I'll run by Amazon and get something to eat.
That other hippie dad that lived in the woods, that other movie we watched, there was no gutting of deer. Well, I don't know what they lived on. Beans
not every just because
berries?
Just because people are like naturalists or whatever doesn't mean they're all the same. They're not a monolith.
I'm not knocking.
You're offending
I'm just
all
saying,
of the living out in the trees hippies.
Hey, if you're a vegan or animal lover or both or all of that,
or a vegan animal,
there's just a heads up. This movie starts off with a pretty graphic murder of a lovely deer.
So sad.
That's all.
But yeah, he's covered in
mud.
I was gonna say blackface, but covered in mud. The whole family's covered in the mud. So after he kills the deer, they all run out and they start splashing in the water, and they're like, they did it. So it was his like ceremony to become a man, I guess.
Yeah, I guess he said something about now you're a man.
Yeah,
he
wiped blood all over his son's face, but I think he was really just trying to get the blood off of his hands. He was like,
probably.
Hey, you're a man now.
Wipe this off on you.
Yeah. So yeah, it starts out like that. So you're like, okay, this
family means business.
Yeah, this establishes that these people really know like how to live out in the non-streets.
That was true, and that was like the best way to establish straight off that this was serious.
Well, yeah, I think especially in this day and age, I think most people would be very jealous of them knowing how to like kill animals, and the little kids are starting fires,
speaking languages, knowing about Noam Chomsky, who I had to Google, and
all I know is the chick from Anna Klumsky.
Yeah, these kids were more educated than me.
Yeah.
I?
To whom do you speak? No, they were, because they weren't. Well, this is the thing. I may have high horses that I jump on. I have horses ready to possibly jump on. This is the thing that was
Are they also on soapboxes?
They are on soapboxes, yes. They have their own podcast. They have their own podcast. They're on soapboxes.
Each host has its own box that it's standing on.
I'd rather have them like they're just like elephants.
They're all balanced on one.
Oh, yeah, it's cheaper that way. So this is the thing I was thinking about. When you're not wasting time with all this extraneous crap, you can actually get down to business.
I know. I knew you were going to think that.
Because I've just been thinking about like everything that people have been talking about now, where they're like, wow, you don't have to go to work to get work done. Like, I've been living that way for 13 years. Like I was working from home at Travelocity in 2008, and people are still like, can you work from home? And it's like, obviously if you're a valet, that's impossible. But a lot of jobs that people are doing, it's like you go into work, you talk about your kid's baseball game, and then you talk about this other thing, and then you say like, how was the baseball game or the NBA game? And then it's 10:30, and then you're like, well, it's lunchtime. And then you start like busy, trying to get work done. Yeah, and then you get work done from like 2:45 to 5 or whatever, and then you leave.
Yeah. So
yeah, it's just kind of efficiency. These kids were like,
this family used their entire day.
Right. They used their entire day to get a ton of information and things done, because they're not chit-chatting, and there's not other kids in the room that are distracting them and like bullying them.
Right. They all had purpose and something that they were supposed to do.
Right. And they
didn't whine. Like, these kids were basically pretty well behaved.
We were watching something, or maybe I was. Oh, it was Simpsons this Sunday, and Flanders taught Bart how to like make a fire or something. He's like, "What is that?" He's like, "That's self-gratification. No, you were able to do something on your own." And it's just kind of like,
it's true though.
When you can kill your own animal and climb scale a mountain, all those things as a little kid. Like, you feel pretty accomplished.
I mean, I don't want to feel something, but that was pretty cool. They were all rock climbing as a family, like 7 people rock climbing all together. And the littlest one, how old do you think? Oh, the one turned 8. Later in the movie, they said that this one just turned 8. I'm
gonna say the other one's 6. Yeah.
7.
I like that little one.
I love the little two. The 2 little ones.
The 2 little ones are great. One of them was the second littlest one, had a bobcat.
That probably killed himself.
Yeah, it had a bobcat head as a hat.
Yeah.
It's like, it's the bossest thing I've ever seen.
And normally I would not like this because obviously I was too stunned and shocked by the filleting of the deer in the beginning.
Probably.
But he looks so cute, or she looks so cute in that little bobcat.
Yeah.
Hat. I think.
Wait, was that one a she?
Yeah, that was the. See, the little 2 is 2 little blonde kids, and the whole movie we didn't know which one was a boy.
They didn't say pronouns. So
they just had long blonde hair, and really could have gone either way. we didn't know.
I'm gonna touch that one. But yeah, so we just see how. Oh, you turn it down?
I gotta turn it down.
We just see how these kids, they're just well-behaved kids. They're good kids. They just live out in the woods, and they kill animals, and they like knives. I think one of the funniest things of the little kid in the beginning came off the bus. So they live in a bus. They also live outside.
Well, they had really sweet digs in the woods.
Yeah.
Like the teepee with all the beds.
Yeah.
This was not like camping and roughing it. They
had a bus that rivals probably, the weekend's bus. They had like the partitions.
But in a very shabby chic Joanna Gaines kind of way.
There was a shiplap. We're gonna take out this beam.
And what's the sink? The farm sink?
Yeah, whatever the farm sink.
Yeah.
And then they used reclaimed wood.
Oh, we lost somebody. We had 3 people.
Oh, that's okay.
Bye, whoever that was.
We don't care about that. I mean,
but whoever's still listening, tell us who you are.
Yeah. Identify yourself.
Identify.
So the little kid comes off the bus and he's butt naked, I think, and they're all eating. Yeah. He's like, "Hey, if you're gonna come to the dinner table, put some clothes on."
He said we close when we eat.
Oh, close when we eat.
That was the rule. Close when we eat.
I think that should be on all restaurants.
Okay. Well, they do. They say the door. You got it. No shirt, no shoes.
That's true, but they didn't say anything.
They don't specify that.
Like Winnie the Pooh could walk right up in there.
Winnie the Pooh and Donald Duck.
And most of those
Daffy
characters.
Duck?
Donald Duck and Daffy Duck.
No, Daffy Duck
has no clothes. Or he has a
which is the one where he has a tie.
I think he has a what's it called?
A priest collar?
Yeah, he has a priest collar. That's all he has.
What kind of duck he is.
Ducky is? Ducky is.
He has a anyway.
So yeah, that was really fun.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Yeah, I did I kept going back and forth on like, is this family crazy or is this family cool?
Yeah.
He was like training these like any of these kids.
Oh yeah, they were running up the hill.
Any of these kids could beat either one of us up probably.
I don't know about me.
I'm
not gonna.
They would definitely contend with you.
Yeah.
If they couldn't take you, those 2 little ones maybe could both.
Yeah, they'd be kind of scary running like.
And they loved all these knives, and I didn't feel scared for them to have the knives. They all seemed well trained.
Yeah, they definitely. That was the funny thing. The kids just seemed like they could totally handle
everything.
Yeah, anything that life came their way, except for something we'll talk about later. But
so here's what I thought. So from the beginning, okay, so he had them training. They were like running. He'd be like training in 60 minutes or whatever. And so they have an hour to do whatever. And that deer they shot or killed, murdered savagely,
assassinated.
They dragged it back to their home camp, and they cut it. The girls cut it all up, and they ate it. So they used the thing.
Yeah.
And then the little crazy one.
#feminism.
Go girl. So then the hey Jedi.
What up?
What up? Yes, you should watch this movie.
Yeah.
So
we're gonna spoil it though.
Yeah.
But you'll still like it.
You'll still like it. There's a lot going on. We won't go into all of it. But so anyway, so these are very very capable kids, and so I kept thinking, because I thought I was watching the other movie, And then also I knew something else was going to happen, like this unapproval thing, but also it was really weird. This lifestyle, but the kids were so well educated.
Wait, weird? What kind of weird?
Okay, well, that's my question. So I wrote down, I took notes on paper.
Specify on paper. Look at me.
said,
monocle.
No, I wrote down weird and different, but is it wrong? So they're living in the woods, but they're well fed, they're well educated, they're loved, they're healthy. They don't appear to hate this lifestyle.
Right.
And yet society would probably try and take the kids away.
Ooh, society!
Right? So that's the whole thing, is like, yeah, it's weird to us because we don't live in the woods.
Right.
And this isn't a life we choose, because that's a choice. There's not like, we're not fending for ourselves anymore like that.
Right.
So that's the lifestyle you choose. So, it's just interesting that everybody seemed fine. Everybody was great.
Yeah.
I mean, for the most part.
Life, liberty.
Later we'll get to what was not great, but
yeah.
Is it wrong just because it's weird?
Yeah. I think that's the question we've probably been asking ourselves for like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
If it's weird and everybody's not doing it, are we the crazy ones?
Right.
Or are they the crazy ones?
Right.
Or is no one the crazy ones?
Is it just c'est la vie?
Yeah.
You do you.
Right.
That's what everyone says now. That's what all the kids say these days.
You do
you, man.
That's
not the man. That's the hippie.
That's
way
the
to
new
say
YOLO.
Yeah.
So yeah, after that we find out that what?
YOLO.
No.
No.
So after that we find out. The funny thing is the son and the dad go into town, and we were like, wait, they go into town?
Right.
So I guess from time to time they go into town.
Well, did you catch what they were doing? They make things in the woods. They have crafts, and they come up with. They were selling, so they were going to pick up the money from the last stuff they had dropped off that this guy sold for them. So they make things. Gotcha. It's like basically you take it to market and sell it, and then they come back later and get their money.
So they're true, like, of the earth people.
Yeah, so they were making, like, it looked like little lanterns or something, or some sort of birdhouses, and then they were dropping off all the stuff with the market guy. And he was like, oh, I sold all your stuff last time.
That's dope.
Yeah, so that's how they're making money and getting the things they had to buy.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting. So yeah, they get into town, and then the dad makes a phone call to check on how his wife's doing, and his sister-in-law picks up the phone and is in tears.
His sister.
Is it his sister or his sister-in-law?
Yeah, it was his sister.
Oh, okay. So his sister is picks up the phone. She's in tears, and I thought, like, oh no, she died. She died of cancer. Why are you doing that? I'm saying dying of cancer. You got me laughing. All right. So she. So I thought that she was gonna say, like, "Oh, your sister died last night. The battle. She lost. Whatever. People would say." But then they were like, "Oh, she took a razor blade, slit her wrist," and I was like,
"She killed herself." So this was
like,
not cancer.
But I was still messed up. I was still thinking, like, "Oh, she was so sad that she had cancer
that
she killed herself."
I thought that
like,
too.
Nope, she just did it. And so then I was like, "Oh." And then did we find out then that she?
No.
Okay. So he has to go back and, like, tell his kids, right? And so every, quote unquote sane person, or every person that lives in a city or whatever, generally comes back to their kids and say, "Hey, kids, I want you to come around. I've got something to tell you. Mommy's gone to heaven," and a bunch of, like, platitudes and good feelings. But he was just like, "Hey, everybody, I just want to let you know that your mom killed herself yesterday. She slit her wrist.
Mommy is dead."
And yeah, he goes, "Yeah." No, he didn't even say your mommy. I don't think he ever said mommy.
He said mommy. He said mommy's, because it sounded so weird to have the soft mommy word next to the word dead.
He didn't even say.
Oh, sorry. He didn't even say she died.
Yeah.
He said mommy's dead.
And then they were sad, obviously.
But then you have 6 kids to control.
Yeah. But what the probably the middle kid got very angry, and then actually pulled one of the knives.
Oh yeah. And
then, like, came at his dad, but then he was just, like, mad, and then he just started stabbing wood.
And so I couldn't figure that out either. The kid was like, this is your fault. You know what you did. You know what you did. So I'm like, oh no, what did he do? Did he cheat on his wife? Did he something? Blah, blah,
cheat on his wife with the wood elves?
Yeah, so there was like a lot of little like breadcrumbs of the story as it goes along, which is kind of cool. Like it wasn't super, I don't know. I didn't feel like there's this big mystery to unravel. It was just like you just keep watching and see what this family's dealing with and how they're dealing.
It's like life.
So then essentially the rest of the movie, or a lot of the rest, it's a long movie, so there's actually like a lot of parts of it.
Yeah.
But so then it becomes this whole we want to go to the funeral, and then we start to see the dynamic with her parents.
Yeah, which is
the wife's parents, who do not understand or accept this lifestyle.
Right.
And they essentially tell the husband, you can't come to the funeral. You're not welcome. If you come, we'll have you arrested, which I don't really understand what they would have him arrested for, because that is his wife.
Yeah, it's a weird crime.
So I don't know what that would be.
Attending a funeral.
Right.
It says 105C.
So, but the kids all wanted to go. So he rallied for them.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is before they went, he said, "No, we're not going. We're going to do our usual routine," which was
that's when they went
running, and then rock climbing. But they were rock climbing,
and then in the rain.
And then the kid did he break his hand? He fell like 10, 15 feet and then ran
smashed
first
into the rock,
the earth, with his hand. And so I was
So be careful, Paul, if you're rock climbing.
Yeah, you can do that indoor rock climbing
in your apartment now, because nobody can go rock climbing.
But the kid messes up his hand, and so they go on this what seemed like 6-week adventure to go from wherever they were to Arizona.
They were in Pacific Northwest, like Washington, and
of
they
course
drove.
They're in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah,
that's where all the people live in the woods.
Yeah. There's probably so many people living. How many people do you think are living in the woods in the Pacific Northwest?
Like legally, or
no, just
you mean just
in general, legally, illegally.
I'm gonna say
at least 100.
100? That's it? I was gonna say like 10,000.
No.
Look, what do you consider the woods?
You don't think somebody would notice 10,000?
What do you consider the woods? Like, I went to cabins that were deep in the woods, like
just
for sleepaway camp.
Like you can't be. No,
you mean like living in the woods, like fires, no toilets, all that type of stuff, living in the woods?
Yeah, not living in cabins and things like that. But like these people,
I'd say 1,000.
And okay, maybe.
All right, shake on.
Okay.
It's been ratified.
I don't know what we were saying.
We were talking about him taking this long trip.
So then they go off and they get in
their cool school bus. The magic.
But the funny thing was they didn't even. This is what I was like, dude. They didn't even go home to get anything. Like the kids had packed and gotten ready for this, and he told them no, so they left all their bags behind. And then they jump in the bus. They're all wet from climbing in the rain and blah blah blah.
One of them shirtless.
And then he makes a snap decision. Okay, let's drive to New Mexico now.
Yeah.
And go to this funeral.
Let's go. Oh no, they were gonna go and save Mom. Isn't that what
that became the mission. They're very mission driven.
They're like, this is the mission.
Which this is where I felt like it was a little bit. This is where the iffy part for me. Like live in the woods, cool. Teach your kids to do all this stuff, cool. But some of them felt a little brainwashy to me.
Yeah, well.
So it was very like, now we're on a mission. We must complete the mission. Everyone's against us.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I think when you have strong ideologies, that kind of tends to happen.
Especially when you have children. Impressing that on kids.
Right. Because he was very.
The whole world.
Yeah, he was very like the man is the enemy and don't trust anybody over 30 type vibe. Like so, it's like when you have those type of ideas, it's very hard to not kind of have this Che Guevara type vibe going on, where you're just like, I'm gonna change everything. I'm gonna change the rules. I'm gonna flip everything on its head. Not be a little bit even keeled.
Yeah. So that's where it feels a little bit like. So you're a grown up and you've had the experience of the world or whatever you've experienced in life to get you to this point, so you could weigh your ideals and against other things. These kids don't have any of that. All they have is the world you created for them. So it felt very like, especially the oldest kid, he was probably like, what, 17, 18?
Yeah.
He felt like a robot. Like, I fear for him, like going out into the world on his own. And he looked a little scary to me. Like, he kind of, his eyes were too...
The actor, yeah, I think he's playing a crazy, not crazy, but, you know, serial killer type person.
Yep, he looked a little serial killer-y.
Yeah, and definitely talking like that. Yeah, it's definitely like the two cracks that showed was when his middle kid messed up his hand, and then they immediately went to the funeral instead of like just getting him checked out at urgent care.
Right.
And then, yeah, putting the kids on this mission of we're going to save mom when, you know, the thing had already been set. So oh yeah, that's the thing they find out in the letter is that she's going to have a Christian funeral.
Right. So save mom. Right. So save mom means because she was Buddhist or practiced Buddhism. I'm not sure how you say that.
And
but
yeah, they said it was a philosophy, not a religion. She thought that all religions were dumb.
Right. So she definitely did not want a Christian funeral. And then even more so, she didn't want to be in a box. She wanted to be cremated.
Right.
So that was their whole thing. That was their mission now, was to go save mom from this Christian funeral box.
Christian box.
Right. And the parents weren't having any of it. It was their daughter. They thought he ruined her life. They were going to do what they wanted to do to honor their daughter, which that's what you're going to do if you're a parent. That's you don't.
Yeah, I guess. I think that's the crazy thing is that dynamic. I've never been in it, but I've definitely seen it of infighting between relatives on what should happen when someone dies.
Yeah, what did you say when we were watching the movie? You said living people fighting over the dead.
Yeah.
Is weird.
Yeah,
which is very true.
It is
and sad.
You know, I obviously respecting people's wishes is always good, but I'm like, look, I'm not paying for that. You know, it's just like, if you want to put that person in a fancy casket and spend $45,000 on their funeral, I'm not doing that. And if you think that I'm not a great family member because I'm not chipping into that, has nothing to do with anything. Because I was a great family member while they were alive. They are now dead, which no amount of flowers or anything is going to make someone less dead.
Well, funerals are generally for the living.
Right. Like I always say, like at my uncle's funeral, as we're pulling up to put him in the mausoleum, I see a bunch of groundskeepers throwing away flowers from a funeral or from a burial that just happened. Like, what's the point of this? Why did you spend $400 on flowers?
Well, because it's comforting for some people. That's how they grieve.
I totally understand that, but what I'm saying, when you put that on me, saying like I'm not a good son, father, whatever, because I didn't do all this stuff.
Your expectations.
Fine, box. Shouldn't your child be in it? What does it matter?
Right.
So it's just like, you could just not come to the funeral if you have a problem with that.
So since we're talking about the funeral,
sorry, that's my other high horse on a soapbox.
That's another high horse.
Yeah.
Now I just want pictures of these. You need to doodle. That can be your doodle.
That'll be my doodle tomorrow. Yeah.
The high horse on a soapbox. Okay. So they're making this journey. Oh, one of my favorite lines from their journey was they're reading books and stuff, and the dad asked, the girl was reading some book, and he was like, okay, give me your report on it so far. Tell me your thoughts on it so far. And she was like, I don't know, it's interesting. And then all the kids yell. It was like Pee-wee's Playhouse. It was like,
interesting.
Right. So then they were like, what did they say? They said, interesting is an illegal word. I love that.
I thought it was interesting that she said that.
Right? So I'm guilty of this. If you've listened to this podcast, I use very vague words. I
have to pull them out.
Josh you have to ask me questions and like go deeper. So he said, interesting is not a real word. You have to be specific.
Yeah.
So I think I want to implement that into my life. I like that little
Don't get mad at me. But I'm like, can you explain further?
What was interesting?
Like, why are you forcing me to do this?
I think somebody's on Instagram. Hi,
what
Instagram.
up on Instagram? I can't see that far.
Is that Mark maybe?
I don't know. Let's see. I should have brought the loop.
Okay, so it's annoying. So yeah. So, and then there was another one. Disturbing wasn't even good enough.
Yeah, like what is disturbing? Like earlier, you said something like you thought it was weird. I think that's also an illegal word.
Oh man,
Weird. Like what is weird?
Different.
Yeah, but in what way? In a
Not
bad
the
way, in a
norm.
good way, in a way. That's what I'm saying. When you're not descriptive, like if you say, "Oh man, I felt like that was weird," then a person may think, "Oh, they don't like me. They think what I did was weird." Then,
Well,
there's obviously a problem. And all you're me is like, "That was weird, interesting."
Okay,
So
well, I'm gonna start.
I just said weird, interesting.
Yeah, I'm gonna start with interesting is an illegal word.
Okay.
Without further explanation. You can use it, but then keep
use
talking.
It as a segue.
Yeah.
Or a rant.
So work on that, people. Interesting is now an illegal word.
I'm gonna see who this person is.
Let's see who's joined us on Instagram.
I can't. Oh, it's Ben. What up, Ben?
Ben.
Okay.
Ben
so
Holtz? Ben Hex?
No.
Oh.
Ben Mac.
Oh, Ben.
So was it the daughter Zara or what is that? I don't remember her name. They had very interesting names.
Here, wait. Can we just read through these names real quick?
Okay.
Because I was looking at the IMDb or the whatever's. Okay, so we had Bodavan.
That sounds like a name in Midsummer.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
Or like Bodavan.
Maybe that's what we saw. Did we see him in Midsummer? There's Bovine.
Okay, Bodavan Keeler or Kyler. That actually sounds like an Instagram.
Kyler for sure. Yeah. Hey, she has a big hat.
Hey guys.
Hey guys, it's Kyler. Gucci.
Okay. Then Vesper. I love that actually.
Vesper.
I like Vesper. Relian.
Okay, that sounds like you're a knight or something.
And he was the one that was like tried to stab his dad.
Yeah, he's the full of anger. That's the one.
Zaja.
Yeah.
It kind of sounds like
Zaja.
The tiger from Aladdin.
That one too.
And then Nye. Yeah, those are the kids' names. He said that they had unique names so that they were the only ones in the world.
Yeah. So
have that name.
Zaja. Yeah. It was interesting, and then she was the one with the bobcat hat. She was pretty scary from the beginning because what was it? In her room, she had skulls and anatomically not anatomically. She had like I don't know, whatever the Natural History Museum does with bones when they show you like a fox and they lay all the bones out to where it's like flat. She had that on her wall in the teepee.
The whole teepee was full,
and it was full of like rodent bodies.
So I guess like little rodents she had killed.
Yeah, because when her brother killed the thing, she had killed another rodent, and then she had a picture of Pol Pot on her wall.
Who?
Pol Pot. As soon as I saw the picture, I was like, why is he on there? He was the leader of the Khmer Rouge that killed 25% of the Cambodian population between 1975 and 1979. What? So as soon as I saw the picture, I was like, is this girl going to be
a quirky one? Like, she was a quirky one.
But I think that's part of their kind of, I would say, socialist, communist, stick it to capitalism type of thing, where it's just kind of like, hey, this guy had great ideas. Like, yeah, he also killed a lot of people. But, I thought that was really interesting that a 6 or 8 year old knew who Pol Pot was.
Yeah. And she could also recite the Bill of Rights for you.
Yeah.
She was very diverse.
Well, that reminds me of that scene when the older daughter was reading that book that she said was just interesting. And then they brought up sexual assault and sex, and then that same girl's
the little one. No, it was the little one. It was Nye.
Oh, yeah. It was like, one. Wait, what is that? It's like, oh, when someone is forced upon another person, and they're like, wait, we're like for sex, and she's like, what is sex? And it's just kind of like, oh, this.
The dad was so. Hey, I guess this is another parenting style. Is to just be brutally blunt honest with your kids. I don't know how well that goes for people. I don't know very many parents that probably practice this. I don't know.
I'm sure there are quite a few. I think he explained it very well.
Yeah.
He just said, you put a penis in a vagina.
Yeah.
And the girl's like, oh, why would you do that? She's like, it brings people pleasure. That was the little boy. I don't know which one. They both had long hair, and one of them was like had a bow, but
He
It
wore
was
a
hard for me.
ponytail on top of his head.
I'm an old man. I can't tell.
Okay.
I don't know.
So they had a very interesting road trip from Washington.
Well, here's the
to
other crack.
New Mexico.
The other crack
Oh.
was he
explained what crack was to the
Yeah.
6-year-old.
No, he faked having a heart attack so his kids could steal food from the supermarket.
Yeah, that was another one of the like maybe not such a great parenting style all around for your kids. Oh, that was the other mission. It was free the food.
Yeah,
that's what they called it. It was mission free the food. And when he faked his heart attack, they all grabbed food and ran.
Right.
And
so yeah, they acted like it was him and one of the littlest kids. Mm-hmm. And then he didn't walk in with the other kids. And then they distracted all the workers by having a fake heart attack, the two of them. And then the other 6, yeah, because it's 8 in total. No. It's math.
6 kids, one
plus
dad.
1 adult. So, yeah, 5 of them.
7.
Whatever. So I let computers do my work for me. I'm too smart for that.
6 plus 1?
Sure. Yeah, so they run out and steal food. And so that was the other thing where I was like, oh, this guy seems cool, but that wasn't cool.
Right.
It's like those two things weren't
that
really cool.
was questionable. So, but here's how this family operates. Here's another way that it showed how this family operates, because that was considered a mission. And afterwards, he asked them something like, what could we have done better, or evaluate the mission?
Yeah.
And so then the kids all had like an answer of like, oh, we should have not all gone through the same bus. We should have all run and had a meetup spot somewhere else. Or we shouldn't have all used the same exit because then we would have been trapped. Or they all had like this evaluation of their mission.
They were getting ready to be in a Fast and Furious movie.
Huh?
That's where I don't know what they do now. I stopped watching a long time ago, but they were robbing banks at first.
Oh. Let's take a water break.
That's what Paul Walker was there for. I think he was the cop, and he was there to catch them, but then he became a part of the crew. I don't know. It got really weird. I was just kind of like, okay. It's like people with like after season 10 of The Simpsons. So I don't know what's going on anymore.
Well, these guys were definitely not Fast and Furious in this bus.
They weren't. The bus is slow.
Okay, here's where Noam Chomsky comes in.
Have you been waiting to hear about Noam Chomsky?
Right. So this is how these kids make me feel bad also. I had to Google Noam Chomsky, and there's quite a Wikipedia page there, and I didn't get to read it.
I like that. this Abraham Lincoln character, he has a really long bio.
Is he a good man? Do we know Noam Chomsky?
I've known Noam Chomsky things, but I don't.
They celebrate him as though he's amazing.
It's not a thing that I pay attention to.
Okay. I know this name.
Did you look it up?
Yeah, but like I said, there's a lot there. He did a lot. He's done a lot.
What did he do?
Okay.
Don't just do the interesting version. No, you don't have to go like deep into it. But
I don't know. I didn't really read much.
Oh.
I just see.
What is he? Is what? What does it say? Like he's a.
On the
he
side?
Was a. Yeah,
his disciplines. Okay, his disciplines are linguistics, analytic philosophy, cognitive science, political criticism.
Okay, Jada says he's a thinker, a fascinating man. Is he still alive? I thought he might not be, but he is. Okay.
I don't.
But it doesn't.
It doesn't say dead. Looks born.
I know at the top though. Yeah, right here. Yeah, that's what I wanted.
No,
an American linguist, philosopher, cognitive scientist. That's what I was.
Oh, historian, social critic, political. Yeah. Okay, so we just a lot of stuff. So, all right. So they celebrate. This was funny. They don't celebrate Christmas. They don't believe in Christmas. Obviously, it's a capitalist holiday.
That's right.
But they have their own Noam Chomsky Day.
Yep.
And I get it. Okay. So they celebrate his birthday, and he wasn't born until December 7th. And I don't know what month this was that they were traveling, but it was not December. But to cheer them up, he stole a cake when they were at the grocery store, and then he was like, "Ta-da! It's Noam Chomsky Day!" And I had a poster. And
that was the cool part because they tried to earlier get food on their own like they usually do, and the daughter was going to shoot a sheep, but it was a domesticated sheep, so it was just sitting there. She's like, "I can't do this. This is really sad."
She's like, "You're just standing there."
Yeah. And then they try to go to the like, I don't know, Norms or something. And the kids were like, "Can I get pancakes? Can I have, what's a hot dog?" And they were like, which was kind of interesting. I feel weird Like if I had kids, I want to raise them like on no sugar and all that stuff. But then I'm also thinking, man, like I don't like hot dogs really, but sometimes it's like, man, I want a hot dog.
I would just say limited.
Yeah.
Like, because I wouldn't also want them to think like, I wouldn't want our kids to say hot dog the way that kids said hot dog.
Yeah, he was just
like it was like it was
dogs.
magical.
Yeah.
Hot dogs are not magical.
Right.
Maybe if you get the right hot dog, it can be. I don't know. But
Only
I don't.
National.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't think I've ever had. Well,
no, I've had some good like sausages.
Yeah, so that's the thing is
for
I wouldn't want to limit it so much that it became this magical thing to them. Yeah, like the way they ate that cake.
Yeah,
that was like.
But
that was fun for them.
I think that was a cool thing because he was like, "Nope, we're not doing this." He just walked out of the diner.
Yeah.
But then after they stole the food, he was like, "Look, you guys can have a cake," and they ate the cake like.
Like he has very hard lines, but he also knows.
Right.
Like when to encourage his kids and when to do something special for them. Oh,
it's like he's like non-Newtonian fluid.
I can't with this non-Newtonian fluid.
You just do this, but then if you just put your hand there,
if you're soft and let it sinks in.
Yeah.
That should go on a T-shirt. Hot dogs are not magical. Love it.
But then also it has like a unicorn horn on it.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was picturing too.
A unicorn hot dog. We'll get Mark to make them.
Yeah. Okay. So non-Newtonian fluid, that's what this guy is. So they celebrate Noam Chomsky's birthday.
Yeah.
In the middle of this road trip, and he hands out presents to them, and they all got knives.
Yeah, except for the younger one that was asking about sex. He got the Joy of Sex book.
He got a joke gift. So he even got a gag gift because he gave him the Joy of Sex.
That's from Spencer's.
Right, and then the kid was like, ew. So then he had a knife.
Well, no, he didn't say ew. He's just like holding the book like. He's like, look, it's got pictures, describes everything.
Right. So this is I like this character. I like the dad.
Yeah, he had comical, funny moments. He wasn't like hardline.
Yeah, he wasn't just crazy all the time.
He's like if Bernie Sanders lived in the woods.
Yeah.
And wasn't 70 years old.
Right, and would actually survive.
Yeah. But yeah, they get down to where the funeral's happening, which was not another thing I wouldn't do. I wouldn't say it was a crack, but it was definitely showed like when you want to play against the man, you want to do the way the man thinks. And he did not. He walked right into the church building wearing a loud red suit.
That was the best.
Kid had a respirator mask that we all wish we had right now on. And then they were all wearing like funky stuff. And then they just bust up, not like, you're late to something. I've been late to funerals and you just kind of like, open the door quietly. And like, hopefully this isn't like a tiny room and I'm walking in the front, but they just boom, busted the doors open, walked in. Everybody's freaked out. There's no room for them. And obviously the grandfather said, if you come, I'll have you arrested. And so.
But that was an entrance.
Yeah.
It really wasn't appropriate.
Coming out.
Right.
I want the world to know. Okay. Yeah, that was an entrance.
Yeah.
And but here's my other horse on a soapbox.
Okay.
Why is it every time you have a funeral, someone hires a priest that did not even know the person at all?
I don't know.
It makes no sense. Every funeral I feel like I've been to, it's like, well, Brother Lofton, I heard from a written thing that someone gave me was a generous man. Like, why are you on the pulpit talking if you don't know the person?
Yes.
Like, have someone else. Like, you don't even need a priest. No one's going to hell if you don't have a priest to do your service.
The tricky thing is like funerals, they have the people who talk are the saddest people in the room. And so that's very difficult to make somebody do a speech in that time of their life. Right? But I do get that somebody speaking needs to have known the person.
Look.
So maybe like a cousin or somebody that a friend, like somebody that actually knew this person, and it is a meaningful.
I would much rather.
But like I said, funerals are for the living.
I would much rather have a bunch of people crying in a circle telling stories halfway. What?
I don't know.
Oh, cats like people are slaves to tradition, even in death. That's true. Like, I would much rather have people just in a circle telling stories about someone crying, not even being able to finish them, than have some random person give a prepared speech. That's what corporations do. Like, I don't want that for my relatives. I would much rather have somebody who knows them do it.
But then again, this family was very like,
they were super religious.
Right. They knew the priest. That was the person that would comfort them.
Yeah.
Not anybody that knew the daughter, because the daughter.
I guess if that's the angle.
Never even went there. Yeah, that's like I said, it's for the living. It's that's who they wanted to hear from, because that's their church and their person.
But I also feel like
it seemed disrespectful.
It's
to the family that showed up, the kids and the dad. What he was saying, it made it seem disrespectful to them, because he was like, "Oh, she loved her mom and her dad,
and she was a good Christian woman, and
she loved her. She loved her parents' dogs, Buffy and Susie, or whatever the names were. So Josh is going to check on the Instagram.
It stopped for some reason, but hey, we'll start it back up. I don't care.
So that was really strange. But as soon as he said something about like he loved his husband, she loved her husband, he was like, "That's my cue," and then jumped up and said anything he wanted to say.
I would have been like, what should I say?
So here's the thing with him. With another thing with his whole philosophy was, at some points he seemed very respectful of like rules.
Yeah.
And don't lie. But then he goes and steals. And then he has dinner with his sister and their kids, and he's saying all these like what we would deem inappropriate in front of kids, like explaining how the mom killed herself, talking about crack, letting his kids have wine.
Yeah.
And so then he has a fight with his sister, and then later he actually does apologize for not respecting the rules of her house.
You know what?
And then he shows it to his funeral.
Yeah.
And then throws all of it out the window and is like, "This is my wife. I'm going to say what I want."
Right.
So that was like, I was on the fence with that. I was like, that was both super disrespectful to her parents, but also it's his wife. They actually shared a life together. He actually knew her, so he can say what he wants.
Right. But yeah, he wasn't given the floor to do that,
right?
Which was the disrespectful part.
I
feel like he's very similar when we watched that Kevin Hart documentary.
Oh yeah.
He just like he's pretty good most of the time, but then when he goes off the rails, it's pretty far off the rails.
Off the rails, off the rails, off the rails, off the rails.
But then he comes
and then
back.
Eventually comes back.
I guess that was offensive to gay people. I'm sorry. After 9 months.
Right.
But
that's true. It's kind of Kevin Hardy.
Yeah. Well, to go back with I think the best part of the time he was staying with his sister was what we said was when the sister goes, "Hey, I think," which was very sexist, by the way. "I think now that your wife has died, these kids need a mother, and you're not able to, take care of them. You don't know what to do with them. They should stay with us." And he's like, "What are you talking about?" She's like, "Well, your kids aren't even in school." And he's like, "What does that matter?" She's like, "Well, they're not in school. They need to learn." It's like, they know what they need to know. And she's like, "Well, they need to be in school," which I think is a funny thing about society. Like Jada was saying, just traditions. Like, obviously, you need to be a good parent. You need to teach your kids all that stuff. Like, all those things still need to happen. The action is more important than the actual way that it's done. Or
that was the whole spirit, the whole thing of this movie is they kept saying actions are bigger than words.
Right.
Isn't that what they kept saying?
Right. So it doesn't matter if we're talking about church, work, or whatever. If you're wasting your time doing nothing in an institution, it's a waste of time. And so it's like, why go to school if your kids are dumb? Maybe figure out something else to do with them. Okay.
Was that scene petty? The way he illustrated his point?
When someone's trying to take your kids from you, no.
That's true.
When someone said, "I, as your sister, need to take your kids," and you're also saying, "I'm not going to be a good father because only my wife knew how to take care of kids,"
so
I would be very petty. I would be Tom Petty.
That's true. So how he illustrated this point of the sister was like, your kids need to be in school, your kids need to be in school. So he called down 2 of the kids, and I thought he was calling down his own kids, but he ended up calling down her kids.
His nephews.
And asked them, one's in junior high, one's in high school, and he said, do you know what the Bill of Rights says? And the one kid, he said, is that like how you pay for stuff? And then the high school kid said, that's like a government thing, right?
Right.
With like the rights of the people. And then the mom looked proud, like, hey, he got it right. But then he calls down his 8-year-old and asks the 8-year-old, what's the Bill of Rights? And she starts just spouting off like from memory the Bill of Rights. And he's like, no, I just want you to tell me your own thoughts, what you think of the Bill of Rights, what it is and what it means to you. And then she had a very eloquent answer. And then he asked her something else complicated. And then his sister was like, okay, get it.
Right.
So basically he's saying like, your kids in school are dumb. My kids in the woods are super smart.
Right.
So leave me alone.
Well, like I said.
And he did shut it down.
Yeah.
But for a split second, I was like, oh, that's so petty.
That's petty, but it's giving a point. Like, if you're spending 8 hours a day in a place to where all you're doing is memorizing things, because like you were saying, his daughter could sure memorize this, but if she doesn't know, I can look at that Lysol bottle and memorize everything on the back of it. But if I have no idea what ethyl ethanol is, I'll just spray it in my mouth and kill myself. So you've got to know the context of things. And I think that's the thing that's bothered me for a long time is in society, we just get caught up in like doing all these rules and going to these places and these buildings and just sitting there. And then nobody's getting anything out of it.
Right.
And it's not saying to bring, tear down these things, but I'm just like, how many people are being productive staying at home? If they have kids, maybe not. But, how many people are being productive staying at home, not getting into all this other stuff and getting their actual work done and then maybe going for a walk instead of sitting in an office? How many people are actually helping and feeding the poor instead of like just sitting in pews every Sunday? So it's like, to me, that's the kind of thing that I think that this guy's trying to say is like, there's nothing wrong inherently with all these things, but when we just get caught up in, let's just go to school. That means nothing.
I think he's also saying there's nothing inherently wrong with what you're doing. There's nothing inherently wrong with what I'm doing.
Right.
So my kid's smarter than yours.
Yeah, it's like, it's mainly the actions. Like if that's how you want to raise your kids, like that's fine. Right. But the thing, I just want to point out, your kids don't know anything.
Right. And don't knock what I'm doing.
Right.
So yeah. So I don't remember what that was a tangent from some point after the funeral.
The funeral. So then he gets up, he does the speech talking about how his wife is a Buddhist and blah, blah, blah. And then they were going to sing a song. And then for some reason, the grandfather had goons. He had goons at the funeral.
Security.
He had like 4 security guards.
Because he said, if you come, you're getting arrested.
I guess so. It's just, I guess we find out that he's rich. So that makes sense.
Super rich.
And so, he gets thrown out and then the kids and everybody's standing outside. And I thought the cool moment was that everybody was level-headed when they came out and put the mom in the hearse. The grandfather and the grandmother came over and met the children, I think, for the first time, or some of the younger ones.
Yeah, met the little ones for the first time.
So he wasn't like, get away from my kids, blah, blah, blah. He just stood there, and they're like, hey, I'm your grandma, I'm your grandpa. And then they hugged them and everything. And then they said, hey, kids, you can get in the car with us. Your dad just can't come. And so I thought that the kids were going to get in the car and then be taken away.
Like, no. Yeah, I thought they were going to like kidnap them.
Right, yeah, like, oh, your kids want to stay in our house, so we're not, I thought it was going to be that thing, which I would have been like, I was super Saiyan.
We're trained by like too many commercially like dramatic movies.
Right.
Like if this were like a big movie, that's how this would have gone.
Right.
They would have kidnapped the kids and done a whole thing.
But yeah, like I thought it was, then they developed another mission. We're going to save mom. But then they really, actually, no, the dad did.
The dad was like, we're getting your mother.
So
she's not being buried.
They were going to grab her off of those slabs. They put him in the ground. I don't know.
So here's what this means by save mom is she wanted to be cremated in her will. She wanted to have, I forgot what kind of service, but she wanted music and celebration, and she wanted to be cremated, and she wanted to be taken to the nearest toilet and flushed. Okay. So it just made her skin crawl to think about being buried and put in a box for all time. So that was her thing. That was her wishes, and he really wanted to fulfill that. And so that's what I meant by save mom. They wanted to save her from being buried as she didn't want to be. So he, after this kind of confrontation with being thrown out, and then the kids are all terrified that he will get arrested. So they're literally talking him off the ledge, like, we're not going to steal mom's body. And like, that was kind of heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Because they had all this whole plan. They had this great trip to New Mexico, like getting there and this whole process, and then nothing. So that was sad.
Yeah.
Oh, and then a whole bunch more things happened. This movie just kept going.
Well, yeah, like to round it whatever.
Summarize?
To summarize the other half. Yeah, so they don't do that. But then
we forgot a huge thing actually before we go here. Yeah.
Well, that hasn't happened yet.
No, it happened at dinner. We found out at that dinner with his sister what really happened with her, like how she was actually sick.
Oh, yeah. We found out, that she actually had some mental issues. And they figured it was postpartum from their first son, which it took me a minute to realize that's what he was talking about. The first son was now like 17 or 18. So she'd been battling these mental things, and then she had 5 more kids. So I don't know, but I don't think that mental postpartum thing gets better with I don't think so.
All the kids. And so it got worse and worse over the years. And so we find out that the kid who tried to stab him when he came home to say that
didn't try to stab him.
Ran at him with a knife.
Came at him with the knife.
So we find out that kid blamed their dad for not realizing this sooner and then saving her. So she was sick. She was away in a mental facility.
Yeah. And
then she killed herself.
So then I think what happens is later on that night or something.
The angry one runs away.
We don't even know. We're just kind of like, what? Why is he at his granddad's house? So he's there, and then the rest of the family comes to pick him up. And then, it's kind of funny because it seemed like that son was a pawn for either one of them. Like, it seemed like the grandfather had said some stuff to him, even though he was already mad at his dad. It's like, you don't do this, and you're not that, blah, 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 blah. And so, he's just like, you need to get your stuff, and we need to go. So the son walks out. This is the craziest part. The guy's son walks out, and his wife's dad, as he's got his back turned, shoots an arrow in his general vicinity.
Yeah, he hits the door.
That man.
He's showing him. He's like, hey, you think you're so tough in the woods. I can shoot arrows too.
Yeah, and I would have shot him in the face. If anybody ever tries to play
okay, guys, don't shoot an arrow.
If anybody tries to shoot an arrow at me,
his general direction,
your face is getting torn up.
All right.
That's no joke. And that was
like, if I wanted to hit you, I would have hit you.
Yeah, and he should have. Okay. That's what I would have said. You should have hit me because I'm gonna hit you.
Right.
And that was a strong looking bow. That wasn't no play around bow. That was like Daryl on steroids.
Yeah, that was definitely a bow you want in the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah. So I just thought that was crazy that the old man was trying to check him like that when he's in peak physical fitness.
Right.
At the age of 50 or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, I thought that was insane. I was like,
that's how strongly this grandpa felt about this boy living with them.
I guess
he thought he was best for this kid and he was gonna fight for him.
So here's the other crack in the dad.
Yeah.
So right after that, wasn't the kids' mission? The kids started a mission to get their brother back.
Well, he was there too.
Yeah, but it was the kids that.
Yeah, the kids had this.
So as a father, if your kid says, "Hey, let's get our brother back by sneaking into our grandparents' home that's going to arrest us and shot an arrow at us,"
climbing on a really
you would say no.
Roof.
Yeah. So the daughter's like, "Oh, climb on a roof." So she was like, "Parkour."
She up that tree like a cat.
Yeah, she went up a tree. She ran across a lot of tiles, which showed that they were extremely rich, and then It was weird because it was like a T thing. And then she was trying to like do like kind of a flip off of that and then flip into the window that was closed. I don't know what she was trying to do.
There was a ledge. I think she was trying to do this ledge below.
Barely. but there's no way that she could have barely got down
from
from
that.
that.
On this little ledge.
But yeah, so the tile, because it's adobe roof or whatever.
Oof!
Breaks.
I thought she was just gonna fall off the roof, but the way she fell off this roof,
she fell off the main roof, rolled down the side roof, and fell off the other part of the roof, and then onto a car, and then onto the concrete.
Bounced off the roof of a car, landed on the driveway.
And the crazy thing was, the alarm went off on the car.
Did it go off?
Yeah, it's like,
okay.
I thought the grandparents would come out, but I guess they didn't.
They probably came out.
Yeah, but they weren't at the hospital.
Because they had to go in and
I don't think they saw. They weren't at the hospital.
How did they call? He doesn't have a cell phone. How did they call the ambulance?
But the grandparents were. They didn't show them at the hospital.
They didn't show them at the hospital, but they knew what was up.
So yeah, the girl's got a broken leg, and
so it takes your kid watching your kid fall off a roof and bounce off a car before you start questioning your parenting.
I don't even think it was per se that. I think he felt bad, but the doctor was like, "Your daughter is in peak physical fitness, and also if she would have fell like 1 millimeter different, she would have broke her neck
or died." Yeah.
So I think that was the thing that kind of made them see like, oh, some of these extreme things that I'm doing aren't really, kind of like his sister was saying, aren't really fit for like kids.
And the older kid had yelled at him because the oldest kid got into Stanford and Harvard and Yale and all the schools already tried, all the fancy schools. But he was angry with his dad because he said, "I only know it if it's in a book. Other than that, I don't know anything at all." And he said, "You ruined my life." Did he say you ruined my life?
Something like
basically like that. So he was upset too. So at this point, he's got 3 kids that are showing like
cracks.
Yeah.
To keep in that thing.
Yeah. So now he's kind of questioning, and then, but it goes kind of extreme.
Well, the thing before that with the oldest son is they on the way to the mom's funeral, they're staying at a trailer park or whatever, and he starts liking this girl, and then he proposes to her, and he's acting all sorts of weird. It was just very.
He was like an Elizabethan, old-timey proposing to Emma, Jane Eyre. I don't know what.
He knew her for like 2.5 hours.
And then they thought it was a joke, and they laughed and walked away. But he was so sincere. This guy was crazy.
Yeah, so he was just like, he had no social skills really, except for between his family, but with regular run-of-the-mill people, he had no way of like, and I think that's hard too. You have no context. Like when he gets to college, there's no references.
Right.
Like people are like, oh yeah,
he's not gonna have any clue.
Like John Kerry. Well, I think he'll know John.
Well, this girl tried to joke about Star Trek, and he was like, what was he talking about? Stars?
He was talking about he was talking about Spock. There's an actual Dr. Spock.
Yeah.
And so so that whole thing. But yeah, so the dad was kind of realizing, maybe I don't know everything, which is, everybody needs to be brought to their knees about that. Like, I'm not a genius about everything that goes on. So then he says like, then he's just kind of like, you can have the kids, right?
Yeah. So then that's what I mean. He goes completely extreme the other way. And he tells the kids, you're staying here. I'm leaving. I'm just ruining your lives. You're going to live with your rich which going from living in the woods and hating the man and the capitalism and money and just being like, here, kids, now you're going to live in this world.
Right.
That was like, I was like, I don't understand what's going on. I was not yelling at the movie, but I was very confused. And I was asking a lot of questions.
Like,
and he wasn't going to answer. But yeah, my thing was, he was asking these kids to do a hard thing and live in this whole new world, but he couldn't stay and do it with them. Like, that was such a cop-out. Like, he was like, woe is me, I'm ruining you, be better off without me. And they're like, no, we can't lose you. Literally, they just lost their mom.
Yeah.
And now they're losing their dad, too. And then 2 of these kids just met these grandparents.
Well, that's what Moses did.
Okay. This was a long time ago.
That was a long time ago.
So, I mean, this was my thing. I was like, you can't ask your kids to do a thing that you won't do yourself. So he drives off in the bus, and I am mad at him. The kids are mad at him. The grandparents are celebrating because this is exactly what they wanted. Until
they realize living grandparents is hard. But we don't see that.
Right.
What do we
So then
see?
we see he goes off. He has like a moment, and he shaves his beard. He's like, I need to be a better man, but I don't know why he just dropped all your kids out.
Better men don't have beards.
Yeah,
that should be a t-shirt.
I guess he really. I don't know. I guess he thinks this beard is holding me down. So I don't know.
I thought he was gonna like shave it all off and like work for a bank. I was like, man, this guy's gonna go way left.
I thought he was gonna go completely. So he shaves his beard, and that's the moment I realized that this has been Viggo Mortensen the whole time.
That was so funny. You're like, is that Viggo Mortensen? Like,
I had no idea.
You're like, are we watching a movie? Like, what are you?
He looked way better with his beard. I'm just gonna say he looked kind of like
Viggo's watching it. He said,
Viggo. I mean, it was the hair. What he should have done was kept the beard, cleaned it up, but keep the beard, cut the hair.
Yeah,
that was the problem.
Okay.
So anyway, so then he does all that, and he goes somewhere, and he stops, and then lo and behold, all the kids have been hiding on this giant bus this whole time.
They were in the floorboards of the bus.
I don't know how you hid the kid with the broken leg. 6 kids. One of them's got a broken leg and a broken neck and has crutches. Where was she hiding? He just wasn't paying attention.
That's how bad of a dad he is.
No.
I think he's great.
He's a good dad.
So yeah, they so in the end they end up, kind of embracing a little bit of change and the system, I guess, or whatever. That's just a note for me.
Oh, okay.
They embrace some of that, and the son. They had a kind of like exchange on the son earlier in the movie about him going to school, and his dad was all mad because he felt betrayed. But then the son told him, like, Mom actually helped me get into these schools. She helped me apply. She said this would be good for me. So the dad finally comes to terms with that, with everything that's come down, and you see the whole family walking in this building, and you're like, oh, okay, they're in an airport. And then you're like,
no, wait. What? That's way after. They do a whole thing before they get to that point.
What thing?
Where they take the mom.
Oh, right, yeah. I forgot, yeah. So they exhume the mom.
Right.
They exhume the mom in the middle of the night.
So everybody's made up. All the kids are made up. He says, I'm really sorry. The kid that's been mad at him, he's like, I just wish you had helped her. And he says, I do too.
Yeah.
So they all bond. They all make up. And then they're like, we're not doing this without you. They're doing this life without you. So then they decide to reestablish, save Mom. So they go and they dig up her coffin.
Yep.
They take her coffin.
But the good thing is they put the dirt back.
They did. I was so scared. I was like, he's going to get arrested for sure.
That's how you do it mobster style.
Yep.
Put the dirt back.
Cover it back
and
up.
Nobody knows.
Nope.
Because
the parents got what they wanted. They got to bury their daughter.
Right.
And now they have taken Mom on the bus and are getting closure by looking at her dead body.
They build a funeral pyre for her with sweet flowers and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And they set her ablaze, Viking style.
They set her on fire and they sing, what did they sing?
Oh yeah, they sung one of the most commercially successful songs in history, Sweet Child of Mine, which I thought was pretty funny. That's how it goes. And they sung that one for some reason. It was pretty
too.
Yeah, it was
that girl had a good voice.
They worked, as people who were against capitalism, they worked together like the most
legit
practiced.
During that scene, I thought
capitalistic thing.
They already have a bus. They just need to go on the road with this. Like, they all play guitar, they all sing, they've got drums. Like,
they can easily remake the Partridge Family if they weren't such hippies. Yeah, they could do that. So
I'd listen to their album.
Yeah,
probably.
They go and you're like, oh, they're at the airport, and then you see that they all go to a bathroom, and just like the mom said, they're putting her in the toilet, which I was hoping it didn't clog. And Michelle was like, is it gonna bubble up and spray in their face? Which that happened in something we saw where they tried to throw the ashes and the wind
it came back on
the face.
It got in their mouth.
Yeah, but no, she flushed fine. She yeah. And then we find out they are at the airport. They're sending the son off, but he's not going to college. He's going to Namibia. Yeah, Africa. So he's going there, and then I think one of the nicest, coolest father. Not advice, but father. I guess advice. I can't think of the word.
Interaction?
No. Advice he gave him was, He said, what did he say? He said,
when you're with a
when
woman,
you're with a woman, be gentle and listen to her and her needs. And I was like, wow. Like if your dad doesn't teach you anything but that, I'm like,
that's nice.
well, what is that? That's
Right.
that's the key to, getting down on it.
Hang on to those words.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, that's really cool. And he told him a couple of really cool things. And, he was just like, all right, you're your own man. Do your thing.
And how did he end it? Don't die.
Yeah, he said, don't die. That's what we tell ourselves. Or you'd say that to me.
You say that to me too.
I don't?
Well,
I do?
No, you say don't fall in a hole.
That's what I say.
Yeah.
And
I say don't die.
That's very hard to get you out. You fall in a hole.
I guess it depends on the hole.
Yeah. Well, the ones I'm thinking are like narrow. You're kind of like,
oh, okay.
Yeah. So don't fall in a hole.
Okay.
So I have some questions for you.
Oh, okay.
How do you want to be buried?
I don't want to be buried.
Oh, why not?
Because I don't like that idea either.
Either than
well,
what?
okay, there's two thoughts, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Do whatever you want.
Me?
Yeah.
So I can just like throw you off of a roof?
No, because you're weird and your brain is different.
I'll put you in the driver's seat and then put a brick on the accelerator and hop out of the car.
Or you'll stuff me or like
That's
I don't
too
know.
much work.
Okay. Well, okay. Do whatever you want within reason. If you want to bury me, fine.
That's too expensive.
I don't want that.
What about science? Can I donate to science?
No.
No science?
Nope. Okay. You can donate my organs.
This is your last will and testament. Live.
You can donate my organs, but no science. I'm not doing that with you either. Even if that's what you want, I'm not doing that.
Wait, that's not fair. I'd love to hear what Jada had to say, but our chat's disabled.
Why is it disabled?
I don't know. I'm not a YouTube ologist.
Okay.
What? So if I wanted to do the rotting thing, where they just put me on the field to see how I rot?
Nope.
Why? What about my needs? Remember what
you
Viggo
don't have any.
Mortensen said?
At that point, you don't have any.
But my previous needs.
You know what my therapist said to me?
What did she say? What
happens when you die? You're dead. You don't know.
Yeah, so then why does it matter what I do with you?
Well, that's what I said within reason.
So within reason doesn't matter if it doesn't matter.
Just don't tell me.
How am I going to tell you?
Just don't tell me. Because
I'm going to tell you. You won't be here.
I'm not talking about things.
This is all I want to talk about.
What do you want?
I used to want to be stuffed and then be used.
But you didn't really.
For prom pictures for girls that couldn't find it.
This wasn't real though.
That would have been cool. I would have been totally with that.
But that's not real.
It is real. Is real. I don't know. Whatever. I think actually the decomposing thing. I do feel weird about the body to science thing. That's what they did with my uncle, and I was like, that's weird. Like it's fine. It's just kind of like sometimes in the middle of the day, I'll be thinking like, oh, he was like, people were doing like whatever. Yeah. Like, hey, this is a liver. And I'm like, no, I knew that liver. But it when it comes down to it, doesn't really matter. But I think, the decomposing thing would be, I just don't want to waste resources. Like, what's the point?
Why don't you just donate all your organs and then
But then there's still the rest. Look, this is the deal. Why waste a box? Why waste all the stuff? Why waste everybody? Why have people stare at me? All that stuff. Just
maybe later in life.
Just shoot me out of a cannon.
Again. No,
shoot me out of a cannon.
It's not something I can process.
Oh, well, you're processing it, sister.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So we talked about. All right. What would you do? What would you do if I died? What would you do with my body? Yeah. I think the interesting thing about this movie was it showed not in every situation, because there's definitely situations where people live off the grid and are horrible parents. But the thing is there's people who live on the grid that are horrible parents. So the thing about it is like you can't judge a person's parenting or someone's kids just because they're doing something that's not normal.
Or not what you think is normal.
Or not what you think is normal. Well, actually, no, that is the definition. It is not normal. Right. Because most people are not living in the woods. Most people are not teaching their kids to rock climb. Most people are not teaching their kids about sex, sexual assault at 6 years old. But there is something to be said about being very frank with children. They're not dumb. Now, obviously, there's certain things that you have to know about your child that they can handle. They can't. Like we talked about when we were kids. I knew not to hit my brother with a hammer. I knew that could possibly kill him. But I loved watching drawn animals hit each other. I knew that if I jumped off the roof with a shirt in my hand, I wasn't going to float down. But some kids did, and they died.
Right.
But the thing is you got to know your kid. And it seemed like this guy generally knew his children. So I think it's just kind of like not a woods culture versus, city culture or whatever. It's just being a good parent, being attentive, and listening to your kid. It doesn't really matter if they grew up eating donuts or not eating donuts, as long as you're not like super, you're not like a donut Nazi, which he kind of was. But what's the problem? Like, in some ways, what's the harm of that? Like telling your kid they can't eat certain foods.
Right.
Obviously, not unless that's messing with their nutrition, but, they'll grow up and they'll end up making that decision on their own if they want to eat donuts all day or whatever. But I thought the funniest thing was that when the kids went into the thing and they were just like, what is up with everybody? And like, what? It's like, they're all fat.
Oh,
and I was just like,
yeah.
Oh my goodness. Like this kid.
No.
Like the funny thing about that is like
they didn't. That's all. Because all they knew was being
running
physical.
Yeah, running around in the woods and all that. It's like, but when you work a job and you have this going on and that going on, and you have whatever genetics or life situation, like you're gonna possibly turn out differently than if you just live in the woods, eating small meals all the time and running and having a lot of free time.
Right.
So it was just kind of interesting where that little girl's or kid, I don't know if it's a girl or boy, it's been kind of judgmental, but it's kind of like that's also a thing too. If you live in the woods and you have to be very scarce with things, you're gonna figure out how to hunt, fish. You're gonna be forced to minimize the calories you eat, and you're gonna learn a bunch of things you wouldn't learn in the city. But like that kid said, you have no concept of like how to joke with people, how to hang out with 5 people and carry on conversations. How to just, interact with people in difficult situations. All you know is like, when I climb up, I get to the top. Not like, well, what if the rock says, I like you, but, sometimes you're a little annoying. There's no weird situations like that where you have to deal with people where you have friends that do things that hurt you. Or
they weren't socialized.
Weird relationships. Yeah. So
I think if I were to sum up like this movie, it was about balance.
Ooh.
Yeah. So he kind of learned the balance of his life and his philosophy of parenting and versus or not versus, but like in combination with because by the end of it, so here's I started realizing it was like a whole balance issue.
Right.
Most of the way through the movie, and then at the very end it kind of showed me, okay, that's what this was. He had to learn how to balance what was best for his kids like all around.
Right.
Not just like survival and book smarts, but like making them well-rounded people.
And not bowing down to capitalism.
Right. And still having his same belief system, but balancing it for his kids. And so at the end of the movie, we see they now live, they're not in teepees and huts and in the middle of the woods anymore. They're on a farm. They're growing their own food, and they actually live in a house. And all the kids are doing well. It's funny because it's a big change, but also they still seem like the same kids. Like they were all sitting around the breakfast table reading.
Yeah, nobody
voluntarily. Yeah, no one was on their phone. No one was playing video games. They were just eating breakfast and getting ready for school.
Yeah, and the bus has no wheels on it. It's
like they stored hay in. Oh, it was a chicken coop.
Yeah.
They turned the bus into a chicken coop. So he found a better balance for his kids. So they were actually going to school.
Right.
To go and learn. Really, at this point, probably the biggest thing they're going to learn is just how to be around other people.
Right. That's what I learned in
how to make
college
friends
and school.
Yeah. Yeah. So I like this movie.
Also, the grandfather was playing with the kids. Not that he didn't love the kids, but Viggo Mortensen's character was there too. So there was some sort of respect between them that had come back,
Well, the grandfather was there in the end?
Yeah, remember he was trying to do the burpees with the kids and they fell over.
Oh.
And he was laughing.
So, balance. We can all use balance in our life.
I mean, that's the thing. It's like, yeah, you can do all these excessive things on any side. Like what the dad did seemed excessive to them, but to him, having a giant house, having a big house and doing all these things, and your kids playing Xbox and talking back to you and not really expressing their feelings was extreme to him. So yeah, it's really like finding that balance and being able to, I feel like, work within a system, within reason. I know there's systems I don't work with, but it's like finding systems that you can work within. And yeah, if you have really smart kids, like I know smart kids that go to regular school and it's kind of a waste of time for them, but they figure out other things to do in between all that time wasting. So
and they're still being at school.
Yeah.
Like they're still getting something out of it.
Yeah, like the action is there, but there's a little bit of pageantry. Like they're like, okay, let's do the yes, the bow and all the pageants. Sure. Like I think that's the thing is like to exist in the world and not be an outcast, you somehow gotta play the man's game and you gotta do the pageantry.
Well, even if it's just learning where to give and where it's important to not give.
Right.
Like we all bend to something.
Right.
And knowing what your limits are and what you will and won't bend to.
Right.
And being open to bend to things. Because sometimes we think, we're giving something up, but really you're going to discover something new.
Yeah.
When you go out of what you think is
right
where you're supposed to be. You just try.
Yeah. And then sometimes you try and go, well, that was crazy.
Then you try sometimes.
You try and you try.
No, isn't that? Then you get what you need.
I'm a classic man.
No,
is that what you're saying?
No.
Oh, you get what? Yeah.
Wasn't it? That's a song I
was
singing.
When you try
right?
sometimes.
Yeah, I just don't sing well.
Just my fun. You get what you need.
Yeah. Way better than I did. So yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, it was alright. Anything else?
No, I think that's it. We've talked for a really long time.
We did. We were we've never been on camera doing this, so it's kind of weird. It took us a minute to kind of
get this going.
Like, no, I think just mentally.
Oh yeah.
Because I don't usually have to deal with like, oh yeah, somebody might be looking at me.
Well, thanks for joining us.
Yeah,
guys.
We had fun. We might do this again this week as we're quarantined. We're trying to do some things to get the knowledge of the podcast out. If you like this, if you thought any of it was funny, any amount interesting, introspective, a different point of view, please share and go on Apple Podcasts and rate and do the stars thing, subscribe. Hey, we just saw movie.com. We got a Patreon too if you want to support as little as $1 a month. That's less than almost everything.
Yeah.
Everything. It's the same price as Dollar General.
It's not less than an Arizona iced tea.
Yes. Actually, Arizona iced tea is more expensive with tax.
Oh yeah, tax probably $1.07.
In LA, there's a 5-cent tax.
That's right. So we are cheaper than
an Arizona
iced tea.
So please, support us if you can. I understand if you can't. These are tough times. Please sit up.
Do we have a Patreon supporter?
We do. Ben Merritt is our Patreon supporter.
Ben Merritt is our Patreon supporter.
At $5.
Thanks, Ben.
$25, you get a tote bag. Isn't it what you said online? You're actually bound to.
We'll just give you one of the tote bags.
Yeah, we get 45 tote bags.
We have a lot of tote bags.
But definitely put up prayers, good thoughts, whatever you do for all the people being affected right now. So I understand if you don't have the cash for that or you're worried about what the cash situation is going to be like the next.
We're not doing this for cash, but we'll take it.
We're not. Yeah, we're just trying to enjoy our company and watch movies because it's something we do anyway, and then kick it out to you guys and you guys have a fun time. And if you like this, please let us know. I'd like to continue maybe doing this streaming, even if it's 1 or 2 people, but I'd love to have 10 people. 10 people.
Invite people to the party.
Yeah. So, follow us on the Instagrams for more information or Facebook. our website doesn't have the ability for us to
Everything
put alerts.
is, hey, we just saw a movie.
Hey, we just saw a movie, except for Twitter.
Except for
I think
email.
it's just saw a movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd like to do these and hopefully entertain and have fun.
And you know what? Since we're not able to go to the theaters
live,
we are using up Netflix and Hulu. We watched this on Hulu, and there's Amazon Prime. So shoot us your
suggestions,
movie recommendations.
Yeah.
Let us know what you might want us to watch and chat about.
Right. We may not watch it if we've seen it before, but maybe we will.
We may not watch it if it sounds stupid, but we might. So
and we watched a lot of stupid movies.
We watched a lot of stupid movies.
So, yeah.
So hit us up. Okay.
Thank you, people in the live
Thanks, guys.
area. Thank you, people who are listening to this while washing dishes.
Perfect time to listen to a podcast.
Yeah. Be safe, guys.
Bye,
Don't go
y'all.
outside unless you need to shop.
Till next time.
Peace. End the stream. End the stream. Did this one end already?
Oh.